And you know what we're talking about? Jesus lived by example. Jesus lived and talked like death was not a threat. You know, especially in this part of the world, there's a way we talk about death. We talk about it in third person. Even for illustration, we still say, imagine your enemy dies. Have you seen people talking like that? Imagine your enemy dies now. Yorubas will say, Kanikpe, your enemy dies. Because we want to distance ourselves from it as far as possible. And there comes Jesus. His communication must have freaked out the people in those days. He talked about it like it was nothing. And he proved it was nothing. In John chapter 2 verse 22. Was it John 2:22? He spoke about his body. He says, destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up. Destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up. Somebody there would have said, please sir, calm down. All this bragging, what do you mean? Why are you daring people like this? Destroy this temple? In some other place he told Nicodemus, he says, as Moses lifted up the brazen serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. Who talks about death this way? Like it's nothing, like it has no effect. He talked about it like it was some mosquito bite. In John chapter 12, he said, except the corn of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it abides alone. It says, but if it dies, it will bear much fruit. So not only did he say he will die, he said somehow his death will be beneficial. What do you mean? He used agriculture as an allusion, or to explain what was going to happen to him. That when a seed dies, it multiplies itself. Are you getting what I'm saying? And he said that's what is going to happen to him. And then he said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men to me. My death will spark a global faith revolution. Now only the Jews know me, but very soon in Asia, in America, in North and South America, in Nigeria, people will be calling my name and praising the Lord. Come on, are you listening to me? How could he have spoken about death this way? What manner of man was this? But it got more dramatic. When you get to John chapter 6, I don't want to just tell you what it says. You have to see it yourself. John chapter 6 from verse 51. In a service like this, Jesus preached a sermon that made everybody stand up and leave. He started preaching the sermon. There were thousands of people. By the time he was done, only 12 people were left in the service. What did he say? This is what he said. He said, I am the living bread. Imagine a human being calling himself bread. Bread with a pulse. Bread with heartbeat. That's how he saw himself. What kind of man is this? He says, I am the living bread come down from heaven. He's making an allusion to the manna, all right, that fell in the wilderness. He says, if anyone eats this bread, what kind of cannibalistic sermon is this? What is this man saying? Which kind of revelation is this? Some people warned me about this man. I thought they were naysayers. What kind of sermon is this? If anyone eats this bread, he says, he will live forever. And the bread that I give is my flesh. Hey. The bread that I give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world. Now look at verse 52. Then the Jews therefore quarreled. They began to murmur amongst themselves. How can this man give us his flesh to eat? What kind of revelation is this? But he went deeper. Say with me, he went deeper. Look at verse 53. Then Jesus said to them, most assuredly I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his what? He talked about flesh and they were complaining, so he added blood. Except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you shall have no life in you. Verse 54. Whoever eats eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day. Now, everybody read verse 55 together, loud as you can. 1, 2, go. For my flesh is food indeed, and my blood is what? Drink indeed. If you're in that service, you just say, hey, I don't join court. I don't join court. What did I do? How did I find myself here? What is going on? My flesh is... What kind of man talks about his own death gleefully, like it was primary 1 exam that you just pass and move on? If this wasn't dramatic enough for you, I want you to think about the Last Supper. I know you've been in church long enough, so you don't really picture what happened in a pictorial way, but think about it. They're on the table, and then he picks the bread and breaks it and said, this is how they will break my body. He was dramatizing his own death. It is one thing to say, yeah, I'm going to die. It's another thing to dramatize it. He broke the bread and said, this is my body, broken for you. And they said, eat it. And he was watching them. Maybe you don't realize how awkward that might have been. Eat it. I'm watching. After they ate it, and he watched them, and they swallowed it, he said, now this is the new covenant. This cup is the new covenant in my blood. And he says, drink it. And he watched them drinking it. Think about it. What manner of man talked about death gleefully like this?